When a war begins, we often think presidents and generals are in full control. But the truth is far more complex. We see them on our screens. We hear their powerful speeches. They stand before maps, pointing with authority. It's a comforting image, suggesting a clear chain of command. A single mind, or perhaps a small, unified group guiding the vast and chaotic machinery of conflict. This perception is deeply ingrained in our culture, reinforced by history books and movies that celebrate the singular genius of great leaders. But the truth is far more complex. The reality on the ground, in the air, and at sea is never so simple. The idea of one person holding absolute power is a powerful myth. It simplifies a messy process. It gives us a face to associate with victory or defeat. But behind that public face lies a sprawling, intricate network of dependencies. A president may give the order to go to war, but that order is the start of a process, not the end. It triggers a cascade of actions and decisions made by thousands of people. Each of these individuals, from a logistics officer to an intelligence analyst, holds a piece of the puzzle. Their actions, or inactions, can have profound consequences that ripple all the way to the top. Consider the sheer scale of modern warfare. It involves moving millions of tons of equipment, feeding and arming hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and processing immense volumes of information. No single human being can manage this alone. The president in the situation room and the four-star general in the command center are at the peak of a pyramid. But the pyramid's strength comes from its base. They are utterly dependent on the layers of bureaucracy, expertise, and infrastructure that support them. This hidden machinery is where the true dynamics of command really play out, far from the television cameras and press briefings. This complex web of influence means that command is not a static object held by one person. It is a fluid and constantly shifting force. Power flows between different actors based on the needs of the moment. One day, a critical piece of intelligence from a spy agency might dictate the entire strategy. The next, a breakdown in a supply line might force a general to completely rethink their plans, regardless of orders from the capital. Understanding this hidden structure is key to grasping who is really in charge when the drums of war begin to beat. It's a distributed, often messy, and deeply human system. The first and most visible layer of command belongs to the political leaders. It is the presidents, prime ministers, and their cabinets who set the ultimate goals of a war. They answer the fundamental question: why are we fighting? Their objectives are rarely purely military. They are shaped by domestic politics, international alliances, economic pressures, and long-term geopolitical strategy. A political leader might define victory not as the total annihilation of an enemy, but as the establishment of a stable new government, the securing of a vital resource, or the containment of a rival power's influence. These are the grand strategic objectives. Once these political goals are set, they are handed down to the military commanders. This is where the political compass guides the creation of the general's map. The military leadership's job is to translate broad political aims into concrete military action. They must devise a strategy, a plan of attack, a defensive posture, or a campaign of attrition that can achieve the goals set by their civilian superiors. A general cannot simply decide to invade a neighboring country for purely military advantage if it contradicts the political objective of maintaining regional stability. The military is a tool of the state, and its actions must serve the state's purpose. However, this relationship is not a one-way street. Military commanders are not just passive order takers, they are also advisors. They must provide political leaders with a realistic assessment of what is militarily possible. A president might want a quick, decisive victory with zero casualties, but a general must explain the real-world costs, risks, and timelines. This creates a constant dialogue, and sometimes tension, between the political and military spheres. The general pushes back, explaining that a certain objective would require more troops, more time, or a higher tolerance for risk than the politicians are willing to accept. This dynamic means that the strategy is often a compromise. It is a negotiated outcome between political desires and military realities. A general might be forced to adopt a less-than-ideal strategy because of political constraints, such as rules of engagement designed to minimize civilian casualties or avoid provoking a neighboring power. Conversely, A political leader might have to scale back their ambitions after being told that their goals are militarily unachievable with the resources available. Command, even at this highest level, is a shared responsibility, a push and pull between two different worlds. Even the most brilliant military strategy is worthless without the means to execute it. A military commander is utterly dependent on the people who manage the supply chain. These are the unseen engines of war, responsible for ensuring that troops have everything they need to fight, from bullets and beans to fuel and medical supplies. A single stalled convoy or a delayed shipment of spare parts can bring an entire offensive to a grinding halt. Alongside logistics, intelligence provides the essential information that shapes every decision. War is fought with money and machines. The military-industrial complex and economic councils indirectly dictate how long a country can efficiently be at war. So, who really commands? Not one man or woman, but a web of actors where powers constantly shifts. That's your daily bit of clarity. Think, bite out.